Thank you. So my name is Reverend Victoria, and it's always a joy to come down when I'm invited to be with you guys. And this congregation gets bigger every time I come down here. So it's a joy to be here. Thank you for having me. My talk title tonight is Love, Light, Let, Your Three Keys to Peace. And Jessica, texted on Tuesday, can you come and talk on Sunday? Maybe there was a schedule shift. And that was a real bad day for me. I was sitting there in a real funk, and, I got the call to show up on a Sunday. So, of course, I always try to say yes. I said yes. And she said, okay, I need your talk title in, 24 hours or something. I was like, oh, man. That, so I literally just was like, it just came out. Love, light, let, your three keys to peace. I had no idea what it was going to be. And I even told her, I can't give you a blog about it. I don't know what the talk is going to be. You make it up. And I promise it'll be good. So the week was a rough week. It's the title is about the key to peace. A peace that you can actually embody, not just sort of theoretical, but like to put in action in your life. And when the world is coming at you, the circumstances and the phenomena, that's a real experience. And it can be hard when your bio bodysuit is, delivering chemicals of cortisol, or, there's real anxiety, or you have pain in the body. It's hard to transcend sometimes and to actually put into daily action that sense of peace. And so, I went through my week really just, curveballs and struggling, and I managed to get to it. And then last night I sat down to sort of, come up with the talk today. And I said, this is a peace. I know the peace that wants to be had here and experienced and expressed here is a peace beyond human understanding. That is what we hear, that our birthright, our mandate, our charge is to be the embodiment of a peace beyond human understanding. So I'm sitting there with my mind map book and my table, and okay, I'm just gonna see what spirit wants. And I picked up my animal spirit cards to tell me what was I going to talk about when I talk about love or light or let, because it had been a rough week. And so I let go and I drew. It's evidence, truly evidence, that something is always seeking to be known. And I drew these cards. I could not make this up. So the first card of love is the elk. Elk medicine is its stability. An elk is established in who they are. They are like a father or a mother. And if you are a parent or you have loved little ones in your life, they can do no wrong. They'll make mistakes, but nothing will make you stop loving them, right? That's elk medicine. And so an elk knows who it is. It is the loving parent. And that's where it comes into our daily action, is that we become this loving parent for ourselves. That's always the task, is what is your inner voice doing? The critical parent is usually the default for a lot of people. It's just sort of what we inherit. It's the tapes, it's the neural net that gets wired up, and it's how you talk to yourself. And so, literally, you can call in this energy of elk to be the embodiment of your consciousness as that loving parent. No matter what you do, no matter what thought you had, no matter what mistakes you've made, You are enough. And there is a loving parent in you that is wanting to be known and expressed, and that you can meet yourself. There is a part of us that forever will feel separated from our source. We are living in a third dimension in a bio bodysuit on purpose to pretend like we're separated, and sometimes we're very convinced of this dream. Are we not? Yes. And so it is upon us as the elk to meet ourselves where we are, to meet that sense of separated, sometimes that inner part of us, inner child, whatever you want to call it, the ego, it's terrified. And so we meet it with that loving parent elk self. And we remind ourselves that we are established as this I am presence, that we are the spirit, we are the presence, we have never been born and we will never die. We live in God, and that there is nothing that is unforgivable. I'll never forget, in one of my darkest nights, I sat in the car of my teacher, Reverend Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith. And, we were sharing, and we were talking about the root of it all. And it was self-love, of course. And he said, you know what I do? I was like, what? Tell me. He says, I just love Michael. I love him. I love him when he falls, and I love him when he shines. I love him. And in this love, everything else falls away. And, I got the goosebumps, and it was like, I got that. I got it. That's my job. That's your job, to love yourself. Love yourself when you miss the mark, and love yourself when you shine. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And everything else will fall away. Everything that is not that vibratory frequency emanating from your heart field, emanating from your consciousness, ultimately what you're speaking and how you are acting in the world will fall away from you. It can't help. That's the power of love. Love is the only power. It is the only cause. It is the only source. It is the thing that creates. It's why the planet is in orbit. It's why flowers bloom. It's why everything is in a universal fractal elegance. It is the power source and substance of unconditional love. And that is the elk. But, we got to put it into our life. All that stuff sounds so great. But to get it into your life, that's what the Divine Mother of nature gives us through the shaman, the path of the shaman, and the medicine, say, of elk. So I invite you to call upon elk energy. And when you want to activate it, what you do, like literally in your action, is self-care. I invite you to intentionally eat a salad. Elks love the grass, right? That's the kind of self-care. Take a hot bath, eat a salad, go get a massage, do something on purpose, make it sacred. You're activating the elk. Okay? Then the next one is light. And I kid you not, I drew this card. The elephant. Yeah. Ganesh. The great immeasurable mind, the illuminated consciousness, the divine wisdom. Elephants will either remove obstacles or create obstacles in order for the divine unfoldment of what your oversoul came here to be and embody. So, your personality might not like the obstacle, right? You have plans and schemes. But your oversoul doesn't care about your plans and schemes and outlines. Your oversoul knows exactly what it's doing. It came here on purpose to awaken, to remember, to activate something, and that is the elephant. It is light. It is the enlightened consciousness that you are more than this. You are more than your circumstances. You're more than your opinions. You're more than your thought patterns. You're more than your history, your relationships, your financial situation. You are an infinite being of eternal light. And you have come here to experience and express more of yourself as creativity or genius or philanthropy, prosperity. Maybe it's love, it's nurturing, harmony, whatever it is, these eternal qualities. That's what you are. And the consciousness of elephant is this illuminated consciousness that is determined, come what may, to embrace, to embody, to realize. It's the medicine of self-actualization, the elephant. And in order to activate elephant medicine, elephant energy, guess what? You have to trust. I was just so impressed by the song and the beautiful shares, the message. It's trust. And you know what? Here's where our journey comes in. This is why we're here today. This is why we gather in sacred soul centers like this. Trust what? You know, if you come from a belief system, religiosity, theology, whatever, trust a man in the sky, a white guy with a beard that's got an anger management problem, and Jesus is the great mediator? Like what? Trust what? This is your journey. Here is your work. Go on the journey to discover and have direct contact with that thing that is trustworthy. Because it is a power, it is a substance, it is a source that never ever contradicts itself. It never creates opposite. It doesn't teach out of tough love. It is only love, only expansion, only beauty. It is always being itself. There's never where it is not. It is upon us to become in alignment with this great power, this great presence. Maybe we have a perception that looks like what we call bad or good, or something out there is seemingly bad or good. That's perception. But what is always ising. And that's what we trust. That's elephant. Have you ever stood by the immensity of an elephant and felt that? Like, that's the feeling tone. You can lean on that. Call in that elephant energy. When you are in that place of that, calling forth that enlightened consciousness, these are your keys to the peace beyond human understanding. Not a piece of understanding that's like, yeah, that makes sense inside of duality. Okay, nothing makes sense in duality. But it is upon us to transcend duality. That is the beyond human understanding. And this is where we call on the Ganesh, the elephant, the enlightened consciousness, the immense wisdom of elephant. Trust. And maybe this happens in your meditation. Maybe it's in a prayer. Maybe you need to call somebody to pray for you. But you activate trust by doing something. And then the third, I kid you not, I drew this card, is the bat. This is let. Literally, the medicine of bat is letting go. I was like, I could not have made that up. Letting go. Bats live in the dark. They sleep upside down. Okay, they are masters of subtle energy. Everything that's in daylight, and you think you see stuff here because light's hitting your retina and going back to your cornea, and this is called your senses, and you think you see. You don't see. We don't see with our eyes. We see nothing of reality with our eyes, I would rather say. It's so convincing. Bats are master of real sight. They see in the darkness because they work with the subtle energy. All of daylight is quite distracting, and bats know this. They know that there are internal forces that are always at work, always seeking to express and unfold more of themselves, and they are masters at letting that happen. To call in the energy of bat, you have to adjust, you have to allow, you have to surrender, you have to let go. You're going to have to surrender. If anybody's ever done 12-step recovery, I've got 25 years. First 3 steps, That's step 3. You are going to have to turn your life and your will over to a power, to a force, a source, a substance that knows exactly what it's doing. And it's for itself as you. It created you out of itself so that it could express itself in this time-space continuum, in the third dimension as you. The only way that you can do it. And that the bat energy is always surrendering to that. Always surrendering to this greater good, greater good, greater good. There is not a law of retraction or contraction or limitation. There is only one law, and it is a law of life, of grace, of creative expression. That's what infinite means. That's what expansion means. That's what eternality means. Bat knows this. And when you call in Bat, you are calling in a full, whole-souled surrender to what created you, so that it could express more as you. Know this. Call on Bat. And the way to activate Bat is to go watch a sunrise. Bats know, oh, the sun just set. I've got this little window of time to go and play. And when that sun comes up, here comes the illusion of the senses. And they go to sleep. Why waste their time, right? So get up early. Go watch a sunrise. Watch that beauty, that love beauty that comes up off of the mountains. All potentiality, all possibility consciousness. Bats know this. And so, as a recap, there is a peace. There is a peace that is there for each and every one of us. Regardless of what's going on in our life, regardless of whatever pain we're in. And I'm not invalidating any kind of emotional or physical or psychic pain. Pain is real, but pain happens in time, as I said in the meditation. It's suffering and pain happens either in the past or it happens in the future. It doesn't happen in the right here, right now. And then to get into that transcendent state of that kind of peace beyond human understanding, the 3 keys are love, the light of your consciousness, and surrender, letting. And you can call upon the divinity of the Divine Mother, the great creator creation, the I Am Presence, who reveals herself so beautifully in nature. And these 3 animals are here for you. They're medicine. Just simply by calling in them on your heart, that energy, that frequency, everything is just electromagnetic energy anyway. You don't have to actually go to the zoo and look at an elk or an elephant or a bat. You have access to it. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between a memory, a fantasy, or something that's happening in the now. So close your eyes and commune with the bat. Or close your eyes and commune with the elk. Close your eyes and go lean up against an elephant and feel that presence that's got your back, because it is your back. That's what I'm saying yes to. Let's pray. How grateful I am. I'm so grateful for the breath, so grateful for life, so grateful that I woke up one more day. I woke up today, and there was so much good. There's so much to be grateful for. I'm grateful for this center. I'm grateful for Patricia and Jessica for their love and their vision. I'm grateful for the technology, for the fellowship, for the community, for the music, everything just perfect, perfect, perfect to massage my heart, to awaken consciousness that together we can turn whole solely to what is real, and that is God, that is Spirit, that is the universal presence, the I am that I am, the infinite divine. It doesn't matter what we call it. We call it forth this day as the activity of our consciousness, knowing it is the only thing happening. It is the only power, the only source, the only substance, everywhere in its fullness, always expressing, always expanding, always being more of itself, never withholding, never contracting. God only knows its own name and nature. And that is our life. We, each of us, live and move and have our being in an infinite and eternal realm of all good. We don't live in our bodies. We are not our bodies. We are not our circumstances. We experience that. But we are the light that lights up every man, woman, and child. We are the light of the world. And so it is from this oneness that I speak this word for this congregation this day, calling forth divine health in every cell, organ, action, and function of our body temple, knowing that every cell hears this word, and it is a law unto itself, that zest, zeal, and vitality is making itself known to each of us in ways that we can sense and feel and perceive that make a difference in our life. I'm knowing that it is our birthright and destiny to experience our full self-expression, freedom and sovereignty, freedom from all things. It's the mind. We are free, knowing that we are the sovereignty of love, that nothing comes nigh our dwelling place. I'm calling forth the quality of abundance to reveal and express itself through our lives. Generosity, philanthropy, givingness, knowing that our givingness is the givingness of God, that we can't outgive the universe. And so I know that this abundance reveals and expresses, it demonstrates, it manifests, because that's what it wants to do. And our coming here together and in this prayer, I am declaring that there is a willingness and a yes. And it is into this yes that I speak this word. And love, I just speak this word knowing that love makes every crooked thing straight, that I'm calling it forth in our lives, and knowing it goes before us, that it makes a way out of no way in all our relationships, that nobody is left out of our hearts, that we love, because love is the only power, it is the only presence. We surrender wholly to this love, letting it massage us, letting it carry us, letting it have its way with us. We let it. I'm grateful. I'm so grateful that my word is a living law, that I have stood here with the authority of one who knows who and who she is. Therefore, I know my word is a law unto itself, that it is already done. I don't care about how long space, time, and demonstration. It's done now, from the invisible to the visible. That is what I know. I'm grateful to know this. I release it, and I let it be. And so it is. Amen. Amen. So we'd like to invite the ushers forward. So, as we've been talking about, there are principles of truth, and when we come into alignment with them, everything becomes very easy. But first, we must live from that invisible knowing that we are the fountain. And so that is where the practice of tithing is a wonderful opportunity to literally allow the presence of divinity to prove itself in your life. So we give knowing we cannot outgive the universe, that it has to return. We give to where we get our spiritual food, where the consciousness is fed. Give to that place, and that is Soul Center, OC. So I invite you all to, as you prepare your gifts, tithes, and offerings, just become grateful.
Even if you're just giving $1, just become grateful like it's $10,000. Just get that. That's where the mojo is.